You gave them everything, your time, your trust, your heart laid bare, and somehow they made you the villain. How does kindness become the very thing that destroys you? They see you differently than others do. Where most people notice a smile, they see an opening. Where you offer compassion, they recognize opportunity. Your kindness is not kindness to them. It is weakness wearing a friendly mask. This is the pattern you never learned to see. You grew up believing goodness protects you, that treating people well creates safety, that if you give love, love returns. But nobody warned you about the ones who do not play by those rules. They do not think like you. When you help them, they do not feel grateful. They feel superior. Your generosity confirms what they already believed about themselves, that they deserve it, that you exist to serve them, that your role is to give while they take. You thought you were building connection. They were building leverage. Every secret you shared became ammunition. Every vulnerable moment you revealed became a map of where to strike. They listened carefully, not to understand you, to inventory your weaknesses, to catalogue the places where you bend. This is not accidental. This is strategy. They test you early. Small requests at first. Tiny boundary crossings that seem harmless. Can you pick this up for me? Can you cover for me this once? Can you make an exception just this time? And you say yes because that is who you are. Each yes trains you, conditions you, teaches you that their needs outweigh your boundaries. Then the requests grow, the demands multiply. But by now you are invested. You have already given so much. Walking away feels like wasting everything you already sacrificed. So you stay. You give more. You drain yourself trying to fill a container with no bottom. And when you finally break, when you finally say no, when you finally ask for something in return, that is when they weaponize your kindness against you. They remind you of everything you did, not with gratitude, with accusation. You used to be so generous. You used to care. What happened to you? You changed. You became selfish. You are not the person I thought you were. Suddenly, your exhaustion is betrayal. Your boundaries are cruelty. Your self-preservation is abandonment. They rewrite the entire history. Every kind act you performed becomes evidence of a contract you never signed, a debt you now owe, an obligation you must fulfill forever. And if you refuse, you are the one who broke the promise. This is the invisible war. They position themselves as victims of your limits. They cry to others about how you hurt them, how you let them down, how they trusted you and you failed. And because you actually are kind, this devastates you. You question yourself. Maybe they are right. Maybe you are selfish. Maybe you should have tried harder. Maybe you are the problem. This is what they count on. Your conscience, your empathy, your capacity for self-doubt. These are not flaws. These are the exact qualities they exploit, because here is what they know that you do not. Kind people break themselves before they break others. Kind people would rather bleed than cause pain. Kind people absorb damage to keep the peace, and they use this against you with surgical precision. They know something about human nature you wish you did not have to learn. That guilt is a remote control. That shame is a leash. That your desire to be good is the opening they need to make you do anything. Watch how they operate when you set a boundary. They do not argue with logic. They do not negotiate with reason. They go straight for your emotions, your sense of responsibility, your fear of being the bad person. They make you feel cruel for having needs. When you say you are tired, they tell you about someone who has it worse. When you say you need space, they remind you how alone they are. When you say you cannot do something, they look at you with eyes that say you are abandoning them, and it works, because you were raised to care, to help, to put others first. These teachings were supposed to make you good. Instead, they made you available for exploitation. This is the trade you did not agree to. You offered kindness. They demanded servitude. You gave an inch. They mapped the entire mile and planned the journey. You opened your heart. They found the control panel. Now every kind thing you do becomes evidence of what you should always do. Every time you go above and beyond becomes the new baseline. Every sacrifice you make becomes the standard they expect. There is no gratitude here, only entitlement. They train you to accept less and less while giving more and more. They train you to swallow your hurt, to minimize your pain, to shrink your needs until they disappear completely. And you do it because you believe this is what love looks like. This is what friendship requires. This is the price of connection. But connection built on your diminishment is not connection. It is colonization. They invade the territory of your life and plant their flag on your resources, your time, your energy, your money, your attention, your peace. All of it becomes theirs to claim, and when you try to reclaim it, they act as if you are stealing from them. This is the inversion they create. Your boundaries become aggression. Your self-care becomes selfishness. Your exhaustion becomes evidence of your failure. And somehow, their endless taking becomes proof of your inadequacy as a giver. You cannot win this game, because they are not playing by rules. They are playing with your conscience, and your conscience makes you vulnerable in ways they will never be. Here is what they will never tell you. They chose you specifically, not randomly, not by accident. They saw your kindness from a distance and recognized it as opportunity. They watched how you treat others, how you apologize, how you accommodate, how you bend, and they thought, this one will let me get away with everything. You were not unlucky. You were targeted. They need people like you to survive, because they do not know how to generate their own worth. They do not know how to regulate their own emotions. They do not know how to exist without someone else holding them up. So they find someone who will, someone kind enough to try, someone caring enough to stay, someone who will drain themselves trying to fill the void inside them. That void is not your responsibility. It never was, but they convinced you otherwise. They made their emptiness your emergency, their pain your project, their life your job, and you accepted the role because rejecting it felt like cruelty. This is the trap. This is the weapon. Your own goodness turned into chains. Now you are here, reading these words, recognizing the pattern, feeling the weight of realization settle into your bones. This awareness does not come with relief, not at first. First, it comes with anger, with grief, with the dizzying sensation of seeing clearly what you could not see before. You gave years, you gave everything, and they took it all and asked for more. The hardest part is accepting that they knew. They always knew. Every time you bent, they saw you break a little. Every time you gave her, they calculated how much more they could extract. Every time you stayed, they understood you would tolerate anything. They were not confused about boundaries. They were opposed to them. They did not misunderstand your needs. They dismissed them. This was not a failure of communication. This was a choice, a strategy, a sustained campaign to reshape you into someone who exists only to serve their agenda. And you let them, not because you are weak, but because you are strong in ways they weaponize. You have the strength to endure discomfort for someone you love. They use that strength to make you endure abuse. You have the strength to forgive repeated mistakes. They use that strength to avoid ever-changing. You have the strength to see the good in people. They use that strength to hide behind when their actions reveal the truth. Your strength is not the problem. Their predation is. But here is what changes everything. You do not owe them your destruction. You do not owe them your health. You do not owe them a life spent compensating for their refusal to take responsibility for themselves. Kindness does not require you to disappear. Real kindness includes yourself. It extends to your own heart, your own needs, your own limits. If your kindness is killing you, it is not kindness anymore. It is self-abandonment, and that serves no one. Not really, not in the end. When you finally step back, they will rage. They will mourn. They will accuse. They will tell everyone who will listen how terrible you are, how you changed, how you hurt them, how they gave you everything and you threw it away. Let them. Their version of events is not your burden to correct. Their feelings about your boundaries are not your responsibility to manage. Their loss of access to you is not your tragedy to fix. You are not the villain in their story. You are the one who stopped volunteering to be the victim in yours. This will feel wrong at first. Your nervous system has been trained to prioritize their comfort over your survival. Breaking that pattern feels like breaking yourself. It is not. It is the beginning of remembering who you are without their hands on the controls. You are not cruel for leaving. You are not selfish for stopping. You are not cold for refusing to bleed anymore. You are awake. And awake, you can finally see the door. They turned your kindness into a weapon because they knew you would never use it against them. But now you know the truth. Kindness without boundaries is not love. It is surrender. And you do not owe anyone the territory of your soul. Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. It motivates me to create 2 videos every day. I'm counting on your support. See you in the next video.